You see it in the movies all the time. But can a person really chase down a car on foot? Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com and best-selling author. I've got plenty of training, information, courses, tons of free stuff over at ShadowAnyone.com. Feel free to check that out. Today I want to talk again from a been there, done that point of view. And it sounds funny, but human beings, people, maybe even you, can chase down a car on foot. How do you do this? Now, I've written the book, How to Make a Citizen's Arrest, and I'm not suggesting that you do this. And even in that book, I don't talk about chasing a car down on foot necessarily, but there are a lot of people who see a crime in progress, a felony, and they decide they're going to pursue or follow, forgive the air quotes, the person in the car. And I do warn you in the book about some things to be concerned about that. And even if you are chasing somebody on foot, so imagine a very vanilla version of this kind of chase where the person's on foot and you're on foot. If this person runs into traffic and gets hit by a car because you're chasing them, are you liable for that? They wouldn't have got hit by the car if you weren't chasing them. What if they run across the street and they don't get hit by a car, but a car has to suddenly stop in order to avoid hitting them, and then they get rear-ended by another car? Is that your fault? Are you liable for that? I'm not even going to pretend to know the answer to that. And if you asked 100 different attorneys, 50 would say one thing and 50 would say the other. I have no doubt about that. I'm not a lawyer, not giving legal advice. I'm just telling you, think about the consequences of following someone or chasing someone. And when you consider that, think about, can you chase down a car on foot? Yes, you probably can. Here's how, and here's how I've done it in the past, with one exception that I'll explain to you. There are choke points. And when you work someplace long enough, or if in the heat of the moment you can look around and see, you might be able to figure this out. But, and then this comes back to my loss prevention days, we had two primary exits from the area where our store was. Both of them had traffic lights. One of them you could get out pretty easily, the other one not. If I was chasing somebody and they made it to their car and they went for the quote-unquote wrong exit, the one that would take them a while, even though it was very far away from our parking lot in a sense, I could still sometimes catch them because they get stuck in traffic at that light. So there's the key to it. If you know where the choke points are, where that car is going to have to stop or slow down, then maybe you can catch up with it. Again, the old joke about a dog chasing a car, he doesn't know what to do once he catches it. There's something to be said for that. Have a plan. Think these things through. Maybe you don't even need to catch the car. You just need to get close enough to get a license plate, a good, solid license plate that you know that's accurate. And this is one of those things that can help. And the one exception I can tell you about where I chased down a car on foot but did not have a choke point for it was an injury hit and run accident. And the hit and run driver took off. And I chased that car on foot for an entire block. Came really close to being able to lay hands on it. I was probably like 2-3 car lengths away when it finally, and it was at a light, but not really a choke point. And that light changed and they took off. But I was close enough that I got a solid license plate number. And that, I believe, the driver realized that because the driver got about another half block down, slowed down, pulled over, and came back on foot. And oddly enough, this unfolded very quickly, but the police were pretty much on scene right away, and immediately they saw me running, so they're walking towards me, not thinking I'm a suspect. I think they could clearly tell that I wasn't, but I was immediately able to point up at the person, and they knew what was going on at that point. I didn't even have to interact with the police at all. They immediately took over, knew what was going on because of the call into the radio room. And I was able just to walk away, go check on the other driver. All right. Is that only for young people, only for people in shape? That was less than 2 years ago. And you can probably tell from the gray in my beard, not a young man anymore. Knee issues. I got no wind. I've never been a runner. If you know what you're doing, if you can stay calm, you can catch up with a car, at least close enough to get a license plate. Sometimes, at least once now, I know the driver realized I've been ID'd, I'm done, and pulled over. And otherwise, if you are in a position where you're taking people into custody, making apprehensions, yeah, you can actually get to the point where you can lay hands on them. So, if you have any feelings about this, no, not if you have any feelings about this. Feelings don't count. This is a rational decision that will be fleshed out in a court of law later on. If you have any experience with this or any thoughts about it, please feel free to share that with all of us. Maybe we can kind of strengthen our own knowledge. And if you have experiences like this with either warnings or ideas, please add those to the conversation. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.